Hi everyone, I wanted to take a second firstly to thank you so much for watching my previous video. I'm getting a lot of feedback from you guys. It seems like a lot of you agree with me on many of my points. The video that I'm referring to is why I think Chris Hardwick is innocent. And there have been a lot of things that have resurfaced, internet being what it is, since I did that video. So I figured I would do a follow-up to address some of those things and give you my thoughts on them. The first one is a comment that she made on a Reddit post that was done back in February of 2018, and it's entitled, "Have you ever gone through a friendship breakup and how did you deal with it?" So I'm going to show you a screenshot next of what her reply to that post was. So as you can see, she is not saying that Chris Hardwick is the one that blacklisted her from the industry. She's saying that a former female friend blacklisted her. So in my opinion, either she was lying before or she's lying now. But either way, there's a lie involved. And once there's a lie involved, it makes it really hard to believe anything you say after that. Then there's this video she posted on YouTube right around the time of the ectopic pregnancy where she required emergency surgery. She mentions this in her essay as an example of basically what a douche Chris Hardwick is. And her accusation states that, yes, he did stay by her bedside, and that gave her a kind of hope that he was a decent stand-up guy. And then he made an inappropriate comment about wondering when they can have sex again. That comment, in my opinion, while it might have been inappropriate, I think he meant it in jest. If you've ever listened to any of his podcast episodes, you get the vibe that that's the kind of guy he is when it comes to dealing with stressful things. He jokes about it. A lot of comedians do that. And this video that she posted completely contradicts her narrative about what kind of a guy he is. Watch for yourself.
And then, of course, I want to thank Chris, my amazing, loving, sweet boyfriend, who, the minute he found out I was in the emergency room, I kept it from him so he could get through a show without worrying. And then he showed up 5 minutes after I told him and just held my hand and just stayed there as long as he could. And then overnight after the surgery, slept at the foot of my bed. He had a cot at the foot of my bed and stayed in the hospital and had to get up at 7:30 in the morning and go straight to work from the hospital. Without that guy, he saved my ass. And Chris, if you're watching this, I love you very much, and you're perfect. Except for when I'm trying to mine stuff and you walk right in front of my pickaxe. But I still love you anyway. He is the most wonderful boyfriend I could ever ask for. And I'm surrounded by wonderful people, and this whole experience has just made me so much more grateful.
Here's a clip from another video that she posted in November of 2013, and she again is singing Chris Hardwick's praises.
I'm so thankful for my boyfriend. I love him. He's been there for me through a lot of things, and we just work together. And even if we ever fight, it's just because we care about each other, and they're dumb things. And I'm just super lucky to have him, and I wouldn't want anybody else. He's wonderful, and I love you, Chris, and I'm thankful for you.
There's also audio from an old episode of what was formerly known as the Nerdist podcast. She is featured in this episode, and her and Chris both talk about the pregnancy and the surgery and the feelings surrounding the whole situation. And again, based on their dynamic with each other and the things that they both say, you don't get the sense, at least I don't get the sense, that she's being abused or controlled in any way. In fact, at one point, he mentions that she doesn't take any shit, and she confirms it. I'm not going to include the audio during this video, but if you click below, you'll see the link to that audio. So one of the first things that supporters of Chris Hardwick during all of this are saying is, if she was being abused and he was controlling her so much, why was she posting these videos about how amazing he is? And the first thing that her supporters come out and say is that, well, if she was in an abusive relationship, she was scared of him. She was trying to placate him and try to make him happy and afraid to not praise him. I gotta say, she didn't have to go out of her way to praise him. She could have just left him out. She didn't have to post a video about their terrible personal issue with the pregnancy and the loss and everything. She could have just kept it private. But she wanted to post about the issue and then, in addition to that, go on and on about how amazing he is. So, again, I find it really hard to believe that she's being abused and controlled. This next thing is something that I find to be particularly damaging to her credibility because it's a dramatic change in her original accusation. On July 3rd, she made a change to the wording of her original accusation to go from sexually assault to sexually violate. Now, some people would argue that that's two sides of the same coin, but it really isn't. It's a dramatic shift in her narrative. To me, it's baffling. If there is no reason to doubt your original statement, why would you change it at all? And then what's even more baffling was her explanation for why she changed it. Screenshot is next. So essentially what she's saying is that it was a website glitch that caused the wording to change. But my question is this. Firstly, why after 2.5 weeks would you go in there and change the post from unlisted to, in her words, publish it properly, to listed? It's been 2.5 weeks since you initially posted it. It's gone viral. The person you're accusing has now pretty much lost everything in his livelihood for now. The world has seen your post. Why are you going out of your way to change the listing of it? Secondly, all you have to do is do a quick Internet Archive search and you'll see that what she's stating simply is not true. And here's a screenshot to show you what I'm talking about. Okay, not really a screenshot, but you know what I mean. So you could see for yourself that there's really no truth to what she's saying because it's there. It's right there in front of your face. You see that she changed the wording and it was still listed as unlisted. So her explanation is just false. Now, there are a couple of other things that have also come out. I'm not going to include them in this video because I feel that even though it does show other aspects of her personality and the type of things that she did that lead you to believe that she can't be believed in this case, they don't really have anything to do with Chris Hardwick, so I don't want to include them. But if you do research, especially on Twitter, there's a lot of things that are floating around out there that just call her credibility into question, and this whole situation is just becoming more and more apparent that there really is no validity to her claims. At the end of the day, it just seems like it was a shitty relationship, and I can't speculate as to why she would come out and make these accusations. I stopped trying to figure out why people do unexplainable things a long time ago. Whether it's, they want their 15 minutes of fame, or it's a cash grab, or it's revenge, or it's, the person needs help and they're unstable, whatever the case may be, it really doesn't matter why. What matters at this point is Chris Hardwick needs to get his livelihood back. He needs to get his life back on track, and these accusations need to be revealed for what they are, which is just a bunch of BS. Bottom line still remains that there does need to be something done about the false accusations that she made against Chris Hardwick, and he needs to be vindicated. So go to the website that I created, IStandWithChrisHardwick.com. The link is down in the description. You can sign the petition from there. You can also read all the details that we have so far that are pertinent to this issue. And I will be updating the website as more new information becomes available. Keep your fingers crossed that this all finally comes to a happy resolution very, very soon. Thanks for watching.